Sorry. Hi guys, it's Mena. Sorry. Hi guys, it's Mena, and today in this video I'm going to do my top 10 stitches in knitting. And I know it's fully late at night, and I'm really sorry, but I actually was, I'm sorry I didn't post a video earlier. I was actually at my little sister's graduation. She just graduated from high school, and I'm super proud of her. I know I said that to her probably a million times, but still, I'm really proud of her and happy for her. And tonight I'm going to do my top 10 stitches in knitting. Again, sorry it's so late at night for filming. It was my sister's graduation. So I'm going to talk, so here are some stitches that I find really popular in knitting. And I do have my knitting book in my backpack. To show you guys some of the different stitches. I actually got this at Half Price Books. By the way, let me know if you guys want a store review on Half Price Books. So I'm going to get started. So number 1 on my list would have to be the Stockinette stitch. So this is what the stockinette stitch looks like, if you can see. So it's got all these little V's, and then if you turn it to the back, this is what the back looks like. That's a reverse stockinette stitch. I really like this stitch because it's used a lot in knitting. And one thing I think it's really cool is like how it kind of rolls in on itself. Some people probably don't like the fact that it rolls up, but I think it's pretty cool how it rolls up because it's so tight that it rolls. It's so tight that it causes a roll in the fabric, which I think is really cool. It's great for hats if you're making a basic stockinette hat with a rolled brim. I think it's really cool, and it's also great for like if you're changing colors or working on like certain patterns that require it. It's really cool, and stockinette stitch is used a lot in machine knitting, and it's pretty neat. Number 2 on my list had to be the garter stitch. So this is what the garter stitch looks like. It's a basic just knit every row. This is a great stitch for beginners if you're a beginner knitter. I suggest just start with this stitch because then it gets you more comfortable with knitting. Number 3 on my list would have to be cables. Sorry, it's taking me a while to find the cables. Sorry. Here it is. So this is what the cable stitch looks like. I actually use this in my Hermione Granger beanie. I'm just actually too nah, never mind. I use that in my Hermione Granger cable beanie. If you saw that video of my top 10 hats, top 5 hats by Pleasant Seas, you know that I love that hat. It's probably one of my favorite hats I made. I think it's really cool because you get like a braid when you do this and stuff like that. That's how you create a braid. It's called doing cables. Number 4 on my list had to be the 2x2 rib. So this is what the 2x2 rib looks like. You can see it's got like, it looks like a 2x1 rib, but it's actually a 2x2 rib because, I don't know if you can tell, but there's 2 purl, 2 knits. And this, I like this, prefer this because it makes your project really stretchy. Now don't get me wrong, the 1x1 rib does make you stretchy, make your stuff stretchy, but I feel like this one's more stretchier. Number 5 on my list would have to be the seed stitch. So even though it says moss stitch right here, this is the seed stitch. So to get this one, you have to knit one, purl one, then you purl in the knit stitches and knit in the purl stitches to get like that seed stitch effect. It's really cool. And it's like makes and it makes it look like little seeds, which is why it's called the seed stitch. I don't know if you can tell, but these look like little seeds. Number 6 on my list have to be the moss stitch. So I actually just am doing the moss stitch right now. So this is even though it says seed stitch right here, this is actually the moss stitch. It kind of looks a little similar to the seed stitch because it's a knit one, purl one, but instead you knit the knit stitches and purl the knit stitches and then you alternate after every 2 rows. So that's the difference between the seed stitch and the moss stitch. The seed stitch you alternate after every row. The moss stitch you just alternate after every 2 rows. So that's the difference. And it looks like moss, which is really cool, which is why it's called the moss stitch. Number 7 on our list have to be the basket weave stitch. So this is the basket weave stitch. So it's kind of supposed to resemble a basket, which is called a basket weave, because you knit 4, purl 4 for 4 rows, and then you alternate after every 4 rows. And knit 4, purl 4, and knit 4, purl 4 for 4 rows. You alternate after every 4 rows, which is how you get the basket weave. Number 8 on my list will have to be the twisted rib. So this is what the twisted rib looks like. It's like kind of more like a braid and stuff, like more like a braid project. This one, I don't think you can really see, but it's a twisted rib. So it's more like a braid and stuff like that because you have to knit and purl through the back loops. Because like the regular rib, you have to just knit and purl regular, but for the twisted rib, if you want a twisted rib, you gotta knit and purl through the back loop, you gotta knit and purl through the back of the loops. Excuse me, I didn't know how to say that. That's how you get that twisted effect when you're ribbing. Number 9 on my list had to be the seated rib. Let me see if I don't know if I'd be able. I doubt I'm. Let me see if I can find it. Sorry, this is probably going to be a long video. I do apologize. 47 and 48. So I can't seem to find a seated rib. So basically for a seated rib, you gotta knit one, you have to knit 3, purl 1, knit 3, and you kind of alternate, you kind of do the same thing. So that's like the best I can explain it. It's basically, first a knit 3, purl 3. It's just like it's kind of a knit 3, purl 3. Knit 3, purl 1 stitch, basically. And you kind of have to alternate, and that's like the best I can explain it because I don't have any way. Number 10 on my list have to be the 1x1 rib. This is a pretty easy one. So this is what the 1x1 rib looks like. So it's pretty stretchy. It's used on the. You can find this stitch on the end of your on the cuffs of your sweaters, or the neck lining of your sweaters, or the bottom of your sweaters, and you can use it for hats, scarves. They're great for hats because they give them a little stretch. And I use this technique when I'm knitting a lot. Sometimes some of my hats call for a rib, and I use the rib stitch a lot when I'm knitting my hats. Just to give it a little extra stretch. Okay, so that was my top 10. Those are my top 10 stitches in knitting. Sorry this is so long, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!